First 12 minutes of this video I'm going to do a voiceover because when I was recording the class I forgot to unmute the microphone from the streaming software that I use. So yeah, that is me. That is your MATH1146 instructor. My name is Eric Rivera Rodriguez, and you just can call me just Eric. All right. So today what we are going to do is to discuss all the aspects of our class. As you might know, our class consists of a lot of moving parts that we put together to create a College Algebra Plus for remote delivery. All right. So let me move a little bit further. Okay, so here is when we start discussing the presentation of the first day. This presentation, the very PDF version of this presentation, is available on Blackboard. It is a good idea to download it and save it on your device in case you have doubts of what to do during the semester. Or you just can shoot me an email and I will be happy to help you with your questions. First thing that it is discussed here is what is the meaning of live online. As you know, our class meetings are completely optional because all the lecture videos are recorded and available on a website that it is called Edpuzzle. The homework or the assessments, you are going to do all the assessment on Blackboard and Alex. Using a combination of Blackboard and Alex is where you are going to be completing, finishing, and submitting your assignments. So live online, we have a schedule of Monday and Wednesday. I teach in two sections, one at 8 at the morning and the other one at 11 at the morning. But I'm combining the class meeting from 8 to 1:45 p.m. So basically around hardly 6 hours of class of live online meetings for our class. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do class time is where I'm going to during that time I'm going to do 2 class time. In class time, what I'm going to do is to discuss some exercises from Alex. That way I can help you understanding more or showing you examples that are going to help you to complete the homework in Alex. For the rest of the time, it will be question time. And question time is for those of you that have questions about the class and want a real-time conversation. You want me to answer your question in real time. So that is the time that we have for that. The Zoom meeting link is posted on the announcement tab at the top. That announcement is going to stay always at the top. So the only thing that you need to do is to enter our Blackboard page and click on the announcement at the top, and then you are going to enter to our meeting. Another thing that is important you to know is that this class is a College Algebra class, although the code that it is used here is 1146 and not 1148. The reason for that is because we go and we are going to discuss topics prerequisites on our class. That is the meaning of the plus in the name of the class, College Algebra Plus. It is good you to know that there are other codes for College Algebra. For example, the one that I believe is the one that it is used universally is 1148. I have seen that some degrees in OSU require a College Algebra class, and the code that they use to indicate that is MATH1148. Okay, so that means that if you are applying for a degree and there is a requirement in College Algebra, this class is a College Algebra class. Okay, The next thing that I'm going to discuss is the workflow of the class. And the workflow of the class consists on 3 phases. The first one is where you are going to watch the video lectures and you are going to complete the guided notes from the collaborative text of the class. The lecture videos are available in a puzzle. You need to watch them, and while you watch the lecture videos, you are going to take notes in the guided notes. You might note that the guided notes are incomplete, and the reason for that is because we want you to fill out those guided notes based on the lecture videos. You are going to see that the material that it is used and it is shown in the lecture videos are exactly the guided notes. Okay, so you have all that information, you get all that information from the guided notes. This first phase is where you are going to get the theoretical part or the theoretical knowledge of each unit. The next phase is when you are going to put in practice that with the worksheet of the day. In the worksheet of the day are located in Blackboard, and you are going to submit them in Blackboard as well. Here, the worksheet of the day are a set of papers that are based on the guided notes. You are going to see that a lot of exercises in the worksheet of the day are the type are similar as a type to the exercises that you are going to see on the guided notes. Okay, so that is that is one of the reasons why you want to have the guided note complete, because you are going to use them when you are working with the worksheet of the day. Right? Once you finish the worksheet of the day and you submit it on Blackboard, you are going to pass through the third phase, which is where you are going to complete the homework in Alex. Right? So those are the 3 phases. For each unit in the class, you are going to pass through the 3 phases. The lecture video plus the guided notes, that is in a puzzle, the worksheets of that unit in Blackboard, and then the homework of that unit in Alex. Okay. I have posted a course navigation guide that will help you to identify and to know where the material of the class is located in Blackboard. Okay, please download the course navigation guide and use it. I refer to it to know where you are going to find each type of material in Blackboard. Right. What we are going to do is to discuss the syllabus of the class, and in the presentation I highlighted the most important part of the syllabus, and we start discussing the class material. The first email that you received from me contained this information about the class materials. If you haven't purchased the class materials yet, you need to buy them now, because it takes time until it reaches your location for delivery. Right? So what you need is the access code for Alex, an exposure account that's completely free, the collaborative text, and the homework notebook. And I discuss how we use the homework notebook later in this presentation. Also, having a scientific calculator is a good tool because we are going to do a lot of algebraic work, and you want something to confirm your findings. So that is why we want the calculator. The enrollment codes are found in the last page of the class, of the syllabus, sorry. And I teach in 2 sections of 1146, 001 and 007. Make sure that you are selecting the code for the correct section, right? The enrollment codes, you have the financial aid access code, okay? If you don't have the access code, the one that you buy in the bookstore, you are going to use the financial aid access code to gain 2 weeks of free access. Next thing, that I want to discuss is the standard method of evaluation. I'm going to focus on the table, but on the syllabus, you have a complete description of each category here. And what I want to do, I want to stop here. I want to emphasize on something very important as for you as a student. And the thing is that these two categories here, test and final exam, okay, also knowledge check, are going to be proctored. Okay, so we have 3 types of assessments in the class that are going to be proctored. The other assessments are not going to be proctored. And I want to stop a moment there. I want to talk about things that might happen during the semester, and I hope it doesn't happen. This doesn't happen, but it's something that to keep in mind. Because let's say for the Alex homework, the worksheet of the day, the puzzle videos, and the quizzes, you can take the easiest route, because those assessments, those assignments in those categories are not going to be proctored. And let's say that you decided to be dishonest on this. I'm not going to know that until it gets to the tests or final exam. And this is like hypothetical scenario. Let's suppose that one student decided to be dishonest on this non-proctored assessment. What is the problem with that? Is if we focus on these 3 first, worksheet, puzzle, and quizzes, how much can you gain for the class if you got 100% on each of those 3 assessments? Well, that is only 15% of the class. Our grade is a weighted grade. Okay, it's not by point, it's by percent. Each category has a percent or a weight percent on the overall grade. So that student decided to be dishonest on the worksheet of the day, and the puzzle videos and the quizzes. And he thinks that he's doing well because he is seeing 100% at the moment for his grade or her grade. What is the problem? The problem is that then it comes the proctor assessments. And the purpose of these is not giving you 5% each. Even though this is too low for the amount of work that you are going to do. Okay, this percentage is low to the amount of work that you are going to do. It is low because the purpose of this assessment here, these categories, is not to give you the majority of your overall grade points. It's to prepare you to what is most important here, which are the tests and the final exam. 40% for the tests, 25% for the final exam, 75% in total. Okay, so if you got 100% with worksheet of the day, a possibility and quizzes, you are not going to pass the class. Okay, so keep that in mind. That is your grade should be consistent. I will know that if you are getting 100% in all of your worksheets of the day, but then when it comes to the test, you're getting 50%, 40% for a test, it will going to tell me something, all right? And I'm not going to reach out to you because, or that student. I'm not going to reach out to that student. He's hurting himself already. So, okay, I don't going to waste time on that. If on any student that decide to be dishonest on this, right? It's going to be a waste of time because at the end you need to do well on the test and the final exam. All right. The same happened with Alex homework and knowledge check, but because we are going to be using Alex, it is a little bit different the way it works here, because Alex is it is called an AI. So Alex is a program that will decide your level of knowledge of the class, and that is why we use knowledge checks. Knowledge checks are diagnostic tests that will place you, or Alex use to determine which topic you need to learn first, or which topic you already master, and which topic you need help. So being honest on the knowledge check is the best option. If you go art or that student, a student is dishonest with the knowledge check, and he got or she got 100% on the knowledge check, what's gonna happen? Well, Alex is going to give that student advanced topic, because that student was not honest with the knowledge check, those advanced topic, he's not going to be able to learn anything, because he might be missing important knowledge prior to that advanced topics, right? And the same thing happened with the homeworks. If you continue, if a student find the answers on the internet and those answers are correct, Alex is going to think that the student is ready for more advanced topics. At the end, that student is going to be wasting his time, because if then his work is not consistent through all the topics, Alex is going to take that student back, and he's going to take away topics, and he's going to place in the level of knowledge that he's supposed to be, or she's supposed to be, right? So this is a good breakdown, and a good reason why we use weighted grade instead of points is because not all the categories are worth the same in our class. Okay, the most important are tests and final exam. The other categories are good to maintain a good grade, but also are good to prepare you for the tests. Okay, does that make sense? Any question with that? Right. Another thing that is important is that since we are working online, we are going to follow a specific format for submission, and there are certain specifications that you need to meet in order to submit properly your work. The first thing that I want to go over is that for all tests, quizzes, knowledge check, and final exam. So those assessments are going to be taken on Alex. In Alex, the only thing that you are going to do is to submit your final answer. That's it. You are not going to put steps, just the final answer. Our class is a math class. It's not, so that means that the most important thing in the class is your knowledge, not the solution of the problems. The problems are just hypothetical problems. They are no real life problems. So if you solve those problems just by getting right to the final answer, you are doing nothing. The most important thing is the thought process, how you solve those, the process of analyzing those exercises. And you can show that when you do written work, when you go through steps, when you show step number 1, I solve this, step number 2, I do this, and so on until you reach a logical final answer. For that, so you have the opportunity for doing that, and this is how we are going to do it. You are going to submit your answer to Alex, but while you are working on a test in Alex in your computer, you are going to solve all those problems in paper, pencil and paper format, like you as you would do on the class if we were face to face. Okay, So that is the written work. For test quizzes, knowledge, and the final exams, you need to submit written work. And that written work is going to be submitted through Blackboard. Okay? After you finish the assessment in Alex, you have 15 minutes to submit your written work in Blackboard. If you submit your written work after those 15 minutes, after completing the assessment in Alex, if you fail to submit written work as stated, the score of that is going to be 0. Okay, so this part is very important. I'm going to be very strict on this. Okay, you need to follow this very well. We want to understand this on the first week. That's why today we are going to do one worksheet. We are going to do it together. I'm going to make sure that you are doing everything correct. I'm going to present some examples. And through this week, I want to make sure that you are following the correct submission format for the written work, the worksheets, and the other assignments. The other thing that you need to do is that all the problems must be numbered and in order. All right, so exercise number 1 goes on the first part, then exercise 2, 3, and 4, and so on. Okay, if I'm going to grade your work, if I see the last exercise first, you are going to receive a score of 0. All right. The problem must be written neatly and sufficiently spaced. That is because I'm going to grade you. I'm going to grade your work, and I need a space to put a feedback. I should be able to read through your work. Okay, it should be legible. Submit work. You need to show all the necessary steps. Okay, if you don't show all the necessary steps, you are going to miss points. Okay, remember, it is not important. It's not so important the final answer. Okay, as long as you have good steps to show your thought process, that is what is going to give you the most of the points. The final answer is going to be 1 or 2 points at most. Okay, all the points for an exercise or the credit are in the steps to solve it. Correct answer, but not supporting work, would be scored 0. All right. If you don't submit, if you got 100% on the test in Alex, but you do not submit any kind of written work that support your final answer, your answer submitted on Alex, that 100% worth nothing is going to be a 0% grade. On the other hand, if you have incorrect answers, but you have shown supporting work for those answers, and you are correct on those, on the majority of them, you are going to receive partial credit. Okay, for all assignments, there is a format that you need to follow. That includes the assignment workshop of the day, success and reflections, the growth mindset, and the participation log. All those assignments, the assignment will be submitted as one PDF one PDF file, one single PDF file. Okay, for doing this, if you need assistance on how to create those PDF files, I'm going to show you a few tricks today. But I'm willing to meet with you one-on-one to show you how to create PDF files that are going to be acceptable for the class. All pages must be in the correct order. So page 1, first place. Page 2, second place. In vertical orientation. And again, written work must be dark and legible. Okay? If you fail to meet any of these ones, your score is going to be 0. Right? You are going to be responsible for addressing any technical issues. That means that if you are getting technical issues, you need right away send me an email. Eric, I having this issue with this particular assignment. How can you help me? And then that's going to be the first step. to figure out what's happening. Okay. After you submit your work, you should receive an email to your Columbus Day email. If you don't, that means that your submission didn't go through Blackboard. Okay, so that's another thing that you need to make sure that it is okay when you are working with Blackboard. We are seeing two papers. These are two worksheets, and these worksheets are perfect. Okay, the first one is a worksheet that was printed out, and this student completed the worksheet using paper and pencil method, or hard copy method. Okay, what do I like from this? Well, I like that I can read all his work or her work. I like that this circle indicating the final answer. I like the steps and the arrows that guide me through the thought process. I like the logical order of the steps, or the logical placement of the steps. Okay, I can follow, I can continue reading through here, and even though there is an arrow here, okay, there's no more space below, so this student used an arrow to indicating continuation. And the final answer, it is equal. Okay, this is a good example. This is something that you should follow. The other one is a document, a worksheet that was done on an iPad, so digitally. And you can see again that I can see clearly, I can read through the process, even there are graphs. Okay, if you need to do graphs, you have two options. You need to print out the worksheet, or you can work digitally. My preferred method is working digitally. Okay, I'm going to show you a few tricks for working digitally. Okay. Okay, let's continue. These two examples are sample that this one on the right is completely incorrect. I can read through that. I do not understand what's happening there. So that is a 0% grade. On the other side, on the left side, this one is acceptable, but it could be better. The first exercise, this is completely okay. I can follow it. Even there is no circle on the final answer, but I can follow that part. The second exercise here is not so good, and this student is missing points because here it is difficult to read here, so the contrast here is not the best. I do not know what is this, so that student is missing point for that. Maybe the graphics is okay, but here in exercise number 2 he's missing points. All right. Another thing is that if you're taking pictures of your work, try not to put any other thing that is not the page. Okay. Here I'm not seeing anything. That's okay, but sometimes I have received work where I can see the paper and other private stuff of the student. Okay, a lot of students are working on their bedroom or on their beds. And sometimes they include in their submissions things that I might not see, needed to see. Okay, so be careful with that. Remember that we are working with internet, taking photos. Be careful with that. All right. So these are two examples that are bad. So another important aspect is the participation in the class. Like I have mentioned before, the class meetings are optional. The class meetings are another resource for those of you that need a real-time conversation in the class. okay, for talking about as aspect of the class. So our participation depend on other things. Okay. So the first thing is that each week the student, you are going to receive a participation grade. And the two main grades here are P for participation or NP for no participation. Why that is important? Well, if you earn, if a student earns 4 MP or more during the semester, that means that student is not participating for 4 weeks in total or more, there is going to be a penalty of 10% on the other grade, 1 letter grade. So any student that have an A grade but more than 4 or more MPs is going to end with a B grade, right? To earn a participation, you have 4 requirements. The first one, you need to watch all the exposed videos and complete all the quiz questions that are on that exposed videos by the due dates. If you watch the exposed video after the due dates, you are not meeting the participation requirements. You need to complete all the worksheets of the day of that week. You need to submit them on time, and you need to follow the step format. Okay, the written word and submission format, the one that we have discussed. You need to submit that through Blackboard by the due date. For Alex, in Alex, there's a time requirement, but you can waive that time requirement if you complete all the tasks from Alex of that week under the time requirement. So each week you want to or work actively in Alex for 6 hours in total, or complete all the assignment, getting 100% on everything that is due on that week. Okay, and again, all that you want to complete that on the due date, before the due date. Okay. The last requirement, we have a document that it is called Participation Progress Log. It's like a to-do list. It's a document that I have prepared for you that helps you to track, to keep in track with the class. You are going to use the participation log along with the calendar to know what is due, when it is due, and to know what you need to do on that week. So kind of a plan for the semester. If you meet those 4 participation requirements, your final grade, your grade for that week, for your participation grade for that week is participating, P. If you fail, MP, no participating. Okay. Since there's multiple situations during a semester, you will have up to 2 weeks when you can miss just one component of the participation requirement, and you are not going to earn a no participation grade. Okay? That means that we have 4 requirements. You miss just one, you have up to 2 weeks to miss just one, and you are not going to receive an NP grade. Right? You have up to 2 weeks. If you use those 2 weeks, the next week, when you miss just one component, you will earn a no participation grade. Okay. This is understanding in Blackboard, in the gradebook on Blackboard, there are places, I believe, there are categories or assignment, if you will, where you are going to submit the participation log each week. Okay, I'm going to receive that. I'm going to put P, NP, number, or EX for excused participation grade and number. Okay. So if you receive a P for that week, that means that you have met all the participation requirement of that week. If you receive an MP, that means two things. If you have used all the excused participation grade, if that's the case, you have used all the excused participation grade, that means that you at least missed one requirement, one or more. Okay? If you don't have used any excuse week, remember that you have two. If you have missed just one, then you will have an excused participation grade. If you miss two components on that week, you are going to receive straight no participation grade. All right. Remember, why do I include the number here? That way, it's going to you are going to know how many MPs you have or how many excused weeks you have used. Remember, 4 or more MPs will result in a penalty of 10% on your overall grade. Any questions so far? Okay, what you are seeing here on the right is the participation and progress log. I'm going to go over talk about that in detail just in a moment. But to recap, participation policy. It's supposed to be a question, workshop of the day, 6 hours in Alex, working actively or getting the 100%. Actively each week, I'm going to receive a report from your for your login in Alex. Is there a student that decide to just open the computer, logging into Alex, and leave it there in idle? That student is not meeting the participation requirement, because you need to work actively. And believe me, I received those graphics, and not all the students haven't, but some students have. I need to send the email, I need to present those reports and explain to the student. It seems that you only open your computer and log into your computer just to accumulate the time, and that's not what we are looking here. What we are looking for is that you get the 100% on those assignments. That is why the time requirement is waived every time you reach the 100% during that week. All right. Okay. And the last thing that you are going to do is to submit the participation log on the next Monday, on the Monday of the next week. Okay. You are going to see that here we have like 4 bubbles. Okay. So if you complete those, you're going to do a check mark, you are going to submit, and on the right side, you have P or MP, so you are going to grade yourself. So when I put your grade on Blackboard, it is not going to take you by surprise if you have earned a P or an MP. All right, that is going. That is what is going to help you to keep track of the participation rate, okay? Because you don't want to reach the penalty, okay? Other thing that you have in Blackboard is the calendar. So very important, calendar. I have prepared our calendar. I try to put it in the most nice way, using bright colors, and to guide you and to let you know what type of assessment or assignment are due that day. So you see what is for workshop of the day. Alex is homework, puzzle is the video lecture, and gold participation log. Quizzes are in fuchsia, test or exam is in blue, bright blue. The knowledge check is orange, success, check and reflection, and growth, green and blue. All right, so those are the type of assignment that we are going to have through the whole semester. This is our calendar. Today we are here, September 8th, the first day of class, and we have one assignment that is due today. This calendar is marking the due days. This due date do not mean that you are going to work on that specific assignment on that day. What you want to do is to try to finish those assignments the day before, or at least 2 days before. That way you have time to make questions to verify that everything is okay. If you want me to go over, I can do that. Right? So those are the due dates, but those indications do not mean that do this job or this assignment on that specific day. For example, if you wait until the 16th of this month to watch all the video lectures for unit number 2, you are not going to do it because there are 25 video lectures for unit number 2. So what do you want to do? You want to tackle all these as soon as possible, so you have the entire week to watch unit number 2 exposed videos. Right? So make sure that you read through the calendar and you know how to follow it. For tests, if do we have one test that if you submit proper justification why you are not taking a test on that day, I can accept that. That's depending on the type of justification that you submit to me. And if I accept that, the day where you are going to be the makeups is going to be December 13, the last week of the semester, on Monday at 8 a.m. That is the final week. That's something that you should talk with me with time if it is needed. Okay, I hope no one needs to do a makeup on December and just focusing on the final exam. But if that's the case, it's your responsibility to talk to me, to let me know if you are available that day or not, so I can make the necessary arrangements. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how you are going to use the participation log. And the participation log is basically the to-do list. It's our to-do list. It's not difficult. It's just very easy. You have it there on your desk or available on your cell phone. And then you are going to see that first thing, calendar here, week number 2. So participation log, week number 2. Let's focus on this. We have 4 participation requirement to meet, right? So you see Alex Esposal watch of the day, submit the log of week number 2. On the right side, we have the grade. You see that I'm going to list like thing below these bubbles. That is the assignment that you need to complete. Okay, let me show you. So on this Sunday, the 12th, it is to the exposal video lecture of unit number 1. Again, that is not the day that I want you to watch those 15 videos. I want you to start from today. But that is the due date, right? So if you completed that on time, that means that you have met the participation, one of the components of the participation requirements, which is watching the exposed videos on time. Then you can go and see that we had 2 worksheets of the day assignments this week. One on the 8th today and one on the 10th. What 9/8 means that worksheet of the day is due September 8th. What 9/10 means that worksheet of the day is due September 10th. If you do complete those worksheets of the day you submit them on time, you follow the format, it is good, you are going to complete the participation requirement. Alex. In Alex, you have two options. Or you work actively 6 hours, or you get the 100%. This week we have only one assignment, one homework in Alex. Is the preparation for unit 1 and 3. When you finish that, you mark there that you have completed the Alex requirement, and then you move to the next week, because on the next week what is due is the participation log. So you are going to submit the participation log, filling out week number 2 to the list. Okay, if you follow the entire format, if you submit it correctly, you are going to mark their log. Obviously you need to mark before you submit, right? So you check mark below log, and then you are going to grade yourself, P or MP. Very easy. Oh, I have completed the 4 participation requirement, P. I missed one participation requirement, so it will be MP unless you have excuse weeks. Okay, that way it's not going to take you by surprise the participation grade that you are going to receive on that week. Okay, any questions so far? All right, let's move on. Today, just checking, is the video okay and the audio? Can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Today, a few of you gained 1% of extra credit. Okay, that was due today at 8 a.m. Now you have 2 more options to gain 4 extra credit in total. So we have multiple types of assignments. Those we have here 2 types of assignments that are completely optional, are for extra credit. The first one is the success check and reflection assignments. This assignment, the purpose of this assignment is that you know your progress of during the semester. Okay, so those assignments are made up to complete after each test. And after each test, you are going to complete a success check and a reflection. The success check is where you are going to copy what grade you have. And there are several questions that will help you to keep in track of your progress in the semester. Okay, what I do not want to happen is that on the final week, you are figuring out. I don't want you to wait until the final week to know how you are doing on the class. What I want you is that during the entire semester, you know what grade you have, on what assessment you have failed, on what you have successes, and how you can improve during the semester. Okay? If you wait until the third and final exam to find ways to be successful in the class, unfortunately for you, you are not going to. There's a little chance to be successful in the class. Since day one, you want to do things right. That is the key for the class, and that is the purpose of success check and reflections. Okay, that assignment, that set of assignments, is for getting you in track of your progress. To earn the 2% of the success check reflection assignment, what you need to do is to complete all of those assignments during the semester. I believe there are like 6 or 7. So 8 if I'm not wrong. I don't remember. But you need to complete all those success check and reflection by the due date. Then for the final grade, I'm going to check Well, this student had submitted all the success check and reflection on time, and he has or she has completed them. So that will be plus 2% on the overall grade. The extra credit, you are not going to see that on Blackboard until the end of the semester. Okay, even you're not going to see that on Blackboard. What I'm going to do is you have earned extra credit. I'm going to add them directly to the final grade when I submit them. The growth mindset is an assignment that we separate from the math concept, and it's a broad topic. The lead instructor of 1146 had this selected a few specific aspects of the growth mindset, and the purpose of those is to help you not only with math, it's to help you with the entire in general, to help you with your academic career or to in your future professional career. Why is that? Is because we want to have a mindset that is aligned with getting better each day. Okay, that is why the growth mindset. And typically, infamously, math is one of those topics or lectures that a lot of students struggle with. And that's completely okay, because sometimes we are just learning something new. Learning math is like learning a new language. So we need to have an open mind, a growth mindset, to accept failures, and to know how to learn from those. That's the purpose of the growth mindset. In the growth mindset, you are going to do a wiki planner that is to help you to get organized. You are going to see videos of growth mindset, inspirational videos, videos about how the science behind learning. That's something that you might want. That's something that you want to know. How we learn. How do you learn? What's your type of learning? Those are important tips or important concepts that we need to understand in order to continue progressing. All right. So that is the reason behind the growth mindset. Those are on Blackboard, and they are completely optional. Again, if you want to earn the 2% of the growth mindset assignments, you need to complete them. You need to complete all the assignments. All right. I think I have covered like the most important part of the class. Now what we are going to do is I'm going to show you ways to work on the documents. We are going to work on the first workshop of the day. Today, I want to make sure that you are submitting correct the work, that you are following the format. So that's what we are going to do today. Also, I have a section on this. I have a section on this PowerPoint that will help you to go through setting up the Alex and Edpostal accounts. If you need help with that, let me know to assist you on that. But right now, what I'm going to do is to show you how I work my paper digitally in my computer. The computer that I have is not touchscreen. It is a desktop. And I have a device. I think it's a graphic art tablet. I don't know how you call this device. But it's something that it is used to create graphic digital art. Okay? To create digital art. But I use it as well to annotate on papers to solve math problems. So the first way to work on a document is you have a tablet, iPad, or a notebook with touchscreen, and you will use a PDF annotator and a stylus, and you can do every work digitally. If you are like me, PC, not touchscreen, you want to find a software that allows you to annotate on PDFs. That software, the one that I recommend is called PDF Reader View Annotated by Solo. So this is something that is free. It's very good. It's a very good software. So what I'm going to do is to show you the software. So I have opened the software, nothing fancy, just this. Let me just a moment. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open our first worksheet of the day. This is our first worksheet of the day. All right. So it's a PDF reader, as you can see, it is here. But the important part is that it is a PDF annotator and editor as well, because now I can write on it. Okay, and there are a few ways to write on it. The freehand, if you have a stylus device that allows you to use freehand, you can use that the same way I'm using it, but you can use freehand with the mouse. Although I'm not very good writing with the mouse, this is something acceptable. Remember that we are going to do graphs, we're going to sketch graphs, we're going to do math problems, so you need to have the freedom to do that. So with the mouse you can do that. If you prefer, you also can use, you can insert text into the PDF. Okay, using the text tool is the icon with the T. You click there, and then you are going to generate a text box, and then you are going to place it on the PDF. Okay, so that's how I do my digital work on my PC. All right, using this software. Okay. So this is the first worksheet today, and just in a moment we are going to start working with it. Let me see what else. The other way, if you are a person who needs hard copies, you are going to print the worksheets of the day, or you're going to print all the documents. You are going to work pencil and paper. Then you are going to take a picture with your cell phone, or you can use a scanner. But then either way, you take a picture with your cell phone. And the most important thing is that then you need to create a single PDF file for that assignment. Okay, and that part maybe you need practice, and that's why we are going to practice with the first worksheet of the day today. There are few ways to do that. You can use a scan app on your cell phone, or you can use Word. Word is very easy to use. Is you grab the picture, copy and paste on the pages on Word, align the pictures, save that document as a PDF, and that's it. All right. So that's one way to work with that. Yeah, that's it for today. I will continue sending announcement to help you to remember what is due, when is due, what you need to follow the format. Okay, and also if you have questions, always feel free to reach out. Send me an email, and I will do my best to answer as soon as possible. Right? So what I'm going to do now, what I want is that so this is like free time, this is like question time, but I'm going to ask you, go to Blackboard, download the first worksheet of the day, and start working with it. Let's start testing how or let's start practicing how you are going to work with the worksheets. If you are working on the computer, go to Solo by Reader. Let me find I'm going to post this address on the chat. Okay, that is the website where you can download the PDF annotator. All right. If you need help with that, let me know. You are going to decide how you want to work with the work today. Okay. But my interest right now is to check that you know how to submit on Blackboard, that you are following the correct format. Okay. And also is to check your Alex and Edpuzzle account. I might not be able to go one by one here, but later I'm going to sit down and check that everyone is in the correct class, is in the correct place. Okay. And if I'm missing you on my classes, I'm going to reach out to you. Okay. But let's go and focus on the workshop today. Okay. So let's do that. I will be checking with you here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change my desktop to my webcam, so you are going to see my face and maybe my doctor. All right, and let's jump to our workshop today. That's something that I want to make sure that you know how to do it, right? When you submit it or when you have questions, feel free to write on the chat or to speak up. Okay. So I'm entering to Blackboard to check your work if you have submitted it.